Hello and welcome back, everybody. It's good to see you again. Happy Thursday. Today, I am coming to you in this tiny little box in the corner of my screen because I am using Screencastify today. And the reason I am using Screencastify is because you are going to use Screencastify. The reason you're going to use Screencastify is because for today's e-learning assignment, you will be recording and presenting to me your finished and complete artist research project. You've been working so hard on it for the past 2 weeks. Today is your day to kind of put together everything that you've learned and share it with me in the form of a short 1 minute Screencastify video. If you are unfamiliar with how to use Screencastify, in today's assignment, I have also shared with you a very easy tutorial that Mr. Abbott has put together for us teachers to teach us how to use Screencastify, but it works the exact same way for you guys. And have no fear, like I said, this only has to be a 1 minute video, and you don't even need to be in this tiny little box. You can just record your screen. That's totally fine. Okay. So for now, what I'm going to do is I am going to present to you my research on Vincent van Gogh. And you can kind of use what I'm doing as a template for what you should do when you present your 1 minute video to me. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to come up here to the top of my screen. I'm going to click present. And this is what I would recommend you guys do. You might want to hit record now on your Screencastify video once your slideshow is full screen, and then start going through it. And in 1 minute, present to me, like you would if you were in front of the class, all of your research on your particular artist. I will go now and share with you the life of Vincent van Gogh. So, as many of you know, Vincent van Gogh is probably one of the most famous artists in history. But there are a lot of things that you might not know about his personal life, especially his mental illness, that have really impacted and greatly affected the art that he produced in his lifetime. So, Vincent van Gogh was born in the Netherlands in 1853. He died at the age of 37, which is very, very young, in 1890. Tragically, he took his own life after dealing with depression and mental illness for several years, which, while tragic, also marked a very productive time in Van Gogh's life. So, at the same time he was dealing with and struggling with these intense mental demons, he was also producing some of the most beautiful art that has ever been created in the entire world. I find it fascinating that those two things were able to occur simultaneously. So Vincent van Gogh is the youngest of two boys born to his mother and his father. His older brother Theo played a huge and very important role in his life all the way up until his dying day. So Van Gogh at 27 decided that he wanted to become an artist. He had enjoyed drawing and painting for his entire life, but it wasn't until 27, which is quite late for most artists, that he decided, you know what, I'm going to give it a go and I'm going to try to become a professional artist. You know what? His good brother, Theo, came and said, you know what, Vincent, I will try to sell your paintings for you so you can make a little bit of money and live your dream. What a supportive, awesome brother Theo was to give his brother the best shot at success that he possibly could. Unfortunately, Vincent van Gogh didn't sell any paintings the entire time he was alive. The most famous artist in the entire world, arguably, ever, never sold a work of art while he was alive. I find that fascinating. So, anyway, like I mentioned, Vincent van Gogh suffered from mental illness for most of his adult life. And in 1888, he made this giant decision that he was going to move to the south of France and he was going to really explore some of the French Impressionists that he was very influenced by. It was here in France that he met his best friend, Paul Gauguin. They began to live together, and unfortunately, as roommates often do, they began to fight. And one night they had such a heated argument that Van Gogh threatened Gauguin with a razor blade. They went to bed, and when Van Gogh woke up, he felt so remorseful. He had felt so ashamed of how he had acted the night before that he wanted to make amends and apologize to Paul. And the way he thought to do that was to take a razor blade and cut off his own ear. So you'll see this painting here is a self portrait by Vincent van Gogh shortly after that event occurred. You can see the bandage there on his right ear. So that is obviously not the right way to handle feeling ashamed or feeling sad about something you did. And it was clear after this moment that Vincent van Gogh was really struggling with mental illness. He had swinging in and out of these giant mood swings, and he was really, really struggling with his sanity. After some of these events occurred, he spent a lot of his adult life in psychiatric hospitals. Um, that kind of marked the end of his kind of adult life in the free world. He was kind of hospitalized there on out up until July 27th, 1890, when he shot himself after kind of losing his battle with depression. He lived for another 2 days, however, after shooting himself, and he later died in the arms of his brother Theo, who had come to kind of visit him and console him and be with him in his dying days. So I will revisit this stay in the mental hospital when I share with you some of Van Gogh's work in just a moment. So I mentioned that he moved to France in 1880. And you'll see all the paintings I'm going to share with you occurred after that date. So he was so inspired in France, he created this painting here, one of his most famous, of sunflowers. He also painted many of the villagers and the people who lived and worked in the town that he had moved to. The postman here is one of those people. And this is perhaps his most famous painting of all time. This is Starry Night. Now, this is actually a painting done of the view that Vincent van Gogh saw outside of his window in the mental facility that he was staying in. So, this painting was inspired by what he could see from outside of his hospital room window. There are many people that believe that the kind of hallucinogenic swirls and the very, very unrealistic light sources and kind of broad brush strokes that Van Gogh used in this and many of his paintings may have been somewhat inspired by either the medications or just kind of his mental state at the time that he was in. Um, so, however you come to think about it, whatever you think inspired his work, this painting is perhaps one of the most beautiful paintings ever done, and it is done at a time when Van Gogh was maybe feeling at his lowest. So there we have it, Van Gogh, somewhat summarized. One of the most profound and historically significant artists of the 20th century. His use of bright, vivid colors and broad brushstrokes are something that artists still to this day emulate and try to copy. His life and his work will kind of always be the symbol of being a tortured artist, if you like to use that term to describe people that really struggle for their artwork. Um, but he was able to somehow find beauty and emotion that really resonated and connected with people, despite the fact that he himself was really struggling on a day to day basis to just kind of keep himself together. So there you have it, a short 1 to maybe 2 minute video on Vincent van Gogh. But don't worry, you only have to do that for about 1 minute and then submit that to me. Okay, so what I am going to do now is I'm going to escape this kind of full screen version and I'm going to come over here to Screencastify. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit stop here in a moment to stop my recording. And then what I'm going to see is I'm going to see a blue box, okay, that says copy shareable link, okay, and I will attach a picture of what that looks like in today's assignment so you can know what you're looking for. You are going to copy and paste that URL, that shareable link. You're going to copy and paste that into today's assignment, and you're going to submit it to me so that I can grade it, okay? So it's quite simple to do. After I hit stop here, I'm going to copy that link. I'm going to go into today's assignment, and then I'm going to click where it says add a link to today's assignment. You're going to do that on your end, and you're going to add the link of your video so that I can grade it. Okay. As always, if you have any questions whatsoever, reach out to me. I'd be happy to answer them for you. But don't worry, today will hopefully be stress-free and really, really easy. Okay, so here I am. I'm going to click stop, and then I'm going to let you do the same thing. Good luck.